There was something I found very interesting, and it was this idea was triggered by looking at Vincent van Gogh's painting. So a friend of mine and I, when I was living in Estes Park, Colorado, drove down to Denver to a showing of Van Gogh's work. It was awe-inspiring. I never had a very specific opinion on Impressionism. I do consider it the last great art movement. Art no longer has movements. Surrealism would have been a great art movement, but it fractured under its own anarchy, I guess you could call it that. And pop art was too commercialized. It was clever, but it didn't distinct itself away from anything other than being emblematic of lifestyle. And that there is the nub of the issue when I bring up starving artists, is that it's a lifestyle. It's a choice. There was no such thing as a starving artist back before the Industrial Revolution. You worked for someone or you did something else. You didn't have the time, you didn't have the resources, and the manufactured art supplies didn't exist at the time for you to enjoy whipping out a pencil and doing a sketch. Industrialized art supplies wouldn't start until the 1700s, into the early to mid 18th century, and wouldn't really become readily available until the late 18th century, early 19th century. And even if that was the case, then generally that was only for working professionals who had these items available, because you didn't have a large swath of people who had the disposable income and disposable time, which is key, having disposable time to entertain themselves with these artistic inclinations. But you look at the Impressionist movement, the early Impressionist, the late Impressionist, and you look at the biggest proponents, the biggest artists, the biggest purveyors of that movement, and they're all children of the middle class, upper middle class, in fact.